Hello, I'm Tara Ledesma, your host of Gapers Delay Podcast. Welcome to episode 3, where we're going to be talking about driving. I have my husband Andy here with me. Andy, say hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
All right, we're going to jump right in and just discuss driving in general, from driver's ed to how your driving affects your children's future driving, just driving all around like it's hot. All right, let's jump into it. My parents would always race home growing up. They would take separate cars, whether it be to my grandparents' house or wherever, and then it was who got home won, and it was always a race to get home. So obviously that would mean disregarding speed limit signs and everything else, but growing up out the gate with that, I never thought twice. That's just what they did, you know. My mom was driving one time when her brakes went out and we went right through a red light. And I remember my sister and I in the back seat watching her panic over and over, like the brakes aren't working. And we're just flying down. I want to say maybe like 79th and Harlem. You know, I don't know what neighborhood that is. It's outside of Chicago somewhere. But yeah, it was, you know, heavy traffic back then too. So it was crazy. How about your parents? How was their driving?
Well, I mean, they pretty much abide by all the rules and they never really sped. Other than one time, I remember my dad being mad and leaving the house and peeling out of the driveway. That's the only incident I can recall.
Okay, you say he peeled out of the driveway. Why do you remember it so much? Was it because of the car he was in, or how fast he did it? Like, what kind of car was he in?
I don't remember what the vehicle it was. I think it was a station wagon.
A station wagon?
Yeah.
You pull out of the driveway in a station wagon?
I only remember it because it was like the only time I remember anything like that in my family.
Oh, okay. Otherwise, it was always status quo.
Yeah.
Hands at 10 and 12 too?
Yes.
No.
Other than my dad, one time, my mom would always tell my dad when we were on long road trips going on vacation, Fred, stop staring into the clouds. You need to pay attention to the road. So, yeah, and maybe nodding off every once in a while when he's driving.
Nodding off. Yeah, we'll get to that later because we know you did that in your vehicle one time, but that's for future discussion here in my notes. But yeah, my dad actually had a car that, oh God, them good old Chevettes. And there was like a hole in the passenger seat that he had covered with a floor mat, and it was and the floor mat was covered in cigarette butts. So whenever the cigarette butts needed to be discarded, you just move the mat somewhere on the Dan Ryan south of Chicago and your problem is solved, you know. So that that was both a good and bad thing, you know, and that's probably why, you know, we didn't think twice when my mom drove with alcohol. I remember, I don't know, I want to say we were like by 111th and something. I don't remember where. I just remember it being, maybe somewhere near Southwest Highway. I'm not sure. It was a good, busy intersection. And my mom asked my little sister to hold her beer while she made a turn because she's seen a police officer. But it's crazy how common it was back then. I mean, apparently it sounds like your parents weren't doing that, or if they were, it was definitely before you were born. But, you know, mine were doing that when we were old enough to comprehend you know, what was going on. Like, here, hold my beer. Like, what are you going to say to the officer if you get pulled over? Like, oh, that's not mine. Like, what the fuck are you with? That's not mine. That's your 7-8-year-old daughter's beer. Like, what? That poses more questions than it does, you know, fixing the problem.
It's my daughter's beer, not mine.
Right? Like, I don't understand the thought process on that. I don't know, any boomers out there listening, if you want to drop a line in the comments on to why that was a thing, let me know. I'm kind of curious. But that did lead my sister into crazy behavior. That kid was on a regular grown-ass adult motorcycle at like 8-9 years old. And my parents just let her ride that thing throughout the yard. Just drive a motor. Like, I can barely hold them bitches up, let alone get on one and ride it. Plus, I've been on once and I burnt my leg. And I was on a moped and I fell off, which for me, I'm not a motorcycle fan. And plus, my 911 days did not help with that. But that would be another, again, podcast. My mom's the one who taught me how to drive. So I don't know if that is a good thing or a bad thing, because, well, they both had similar driving. I think with the speed and
Well,
whatever.
based on my experience when I first started dating you, I don't know that they taught you much of anything.
Hey, listen. In driver's ed, I was even surprised I got passed. Okay, listen, I started an already started car in driver's ed in the parking lot. In the parking lot. Then when I actually took my driver's ed test, they had me downhill park and I ended up in somebody's front lawn. The whole way home, I'm trying to hold back the tears. Like I fucking failed. Like I have to do this shit all over again. And he said, you passed, and got out of the car. And I was so freaking dumbfounded. Like how the hell did I pass? What do you mean I passed? Like, did you not see what just, I seen it. I was there. Where were you? Like, I'm in somebody's front yard. And man, the parked cars I hit after that. So yeah, I mean, I wasn't the greatest of driver when I first started. I just forgot to look left sometimes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That happens, I'm a new driver. I mean, I used to drive all the way up, like 45 minutes to an hour to go to these teen clubs when I was 16. Just got my license, driving by myself, navigating these frickin' Chicago highways to get to some north side club that I probably didn't belong at.
Yeah.
But I still did it, and I still made it alive, because obviously I wouldn't have met you, so I was fine. I had some good ass cars to get me there. I had some Deltas. I had my Lincoln. I had some sturdy box cars there, sir.
Yeah, but didn't have crumple zones in them, so if you got hit, you felt it.
Well, did we get hit? No. Not
Almost.
in those cars. Not in those almost. But did we? No.
No, I thought I was going to die one day. Pulling out of King gas station on 159th and Markham. You look left.
See, I looked
and then
left.
Didn't look right.
Okay, so I forgot to look right that time. But I looked left.
And all I seen was a car about to T-bone us, and it was going to hit me because you're driving.
Listen,
I see my life flash before my eyes. And then that's when I realized, I'm going to have to teach her how to drive if I'm going to be in the car with her, because I don't want to deal with this shit anymore.
Didn't almost die.
If I didn't say stop, yeah.
Maybe. I think it was worse when I spun out on
159th.
Yeah. Oh, that was quick. Do you remember that one?
We did a 360 a couple of times. I don't know what to technically call that, but it was like 4 or 5 times. Spun all the way around, seen headlights.
Not funny.
Brake, taillights, headlights, taillights, headlights, taillights, and finally stopped.
Yeah, like right next to a light pole. That I remember.
And we were facing the right direction, at least when we stopped.
At least. Didn't we just keep on driving?
Yes.
Like nothing happened?
Oh no, I'm sure our adrenaline was rushing.
Well, yeah, outside of the rushing adrenaline issue, like we just kept on keeping on, right? Like, yeah. Oh well, we'll just pretend that didn't happen and keep on going.
Yeah, and then the other time when you decided to stop on I-80 because it was a spider coming down on you. Literally stopped on I-80. I had to get out of the car and get around into the driver's seat, smack the spider down, and put it back in the drive. Meanwhile, cars are flying around us. I'm like, fuck, we're about to die.
Listen, okay, I have a panic problem, okay, that I'm working on, and spiders are a fear of mine. So when that bitch just dropped down right in front of my driving visual range, yeah, my immediate instinct was to stop and jump in the back seat. I'm not even gonna lie there. Like, yeah, I did that. That is a spider, sir. Nope. And I'm not saying that what I did was right. I take full responsibility for my actions and definitely, don't wish harm on anyone. All right. So left field, out of all the cars you've had, including maybe even up till now, what's your favorite vehicle you've owned so far, you think? Just curious.
The only vehicle I ever bought that I really wanted was the Monte Carlo, and then after I had it, I realized there was nothing but problems because it was the last year that they made it, so they didn't really put a lot of effort into quality, I think, because they knew that was the last year they were going to make that model. That's the only vehicle I ever bought that I really wanted. Otherwise, it was always based on need, what I needed at the moment, and price.
So, is that fair to say when I met you? In the car you had, that's how you felt?
No, I mean, I did actually kind of like that car because I was very young. It was I think it was an 80, I did it one time, 86 Chrysler LeBaron convertible. was a nice car, fully leather and red leather interior, with the cloth top. So
And why'd you end up getting rid of it?
it had started having lots of problems. It was an old vehicle to begin with, but it was very well maintained, and the floor was starting to rot out on it. So, but that car in that year was known for the floors rotting out. But other than that, the car was still in decent condition. But just
should just got better formats.
Well, it just kept on having more electrical problems and stuff because for its time, it had a lot of bells and whistles, I guess, you could say. And I just didn't want to put that much money into it anymore. Other than that, though, the car, I think, still ran good when I got rid of it. It's just so many things were breaking on it.
Fair enough. Now, I understand this is probably a very sensitive topic for a lot of people, especially myself including, considering, we believe my sister's cancer was caused from a car accident because we found out that trauma-induced, whatever experiences can cause cancer. But that aside, talking about car accidents, I did avoid a lot while we were dating, as you mentioned. Thank you. But I know I've gotten into a few before I met you. Like most of mine were parked cars.
Yeah, you hitting them.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm still learning, remember?
You hit 3 in one parking lot once.
That was more than 3, and I'm sorry to all them Best Buy people. They're, my bad, but I did leave a lot of notes, so.
Yeah. The first one you hit, you panicked, and then you put it in drive too fast, and then hit the one in front of you, and then put it in reverse real fast and hit another one, and then I think you put it in drive again and hit another one.
That your brain doesn't work in panic mode. It can only either panic or focus. Like you gotta pick one. And apparently at that time mine picked panic. I don't know why, but I've got it under control. I am a good driver. Okay. So, I mean, I have a lot of learned experiences. Mm-hmm. I think the worst accident though was the one when we got hit almost head on. That one was probably, aside from almost getting run off the highway by semis in different various areas, but that's, what subwoofers are for. But yeah, that accident, that was scary for me because I've never seen airbags deployed before. So that one it's very scary.
No, it took me a year to heal from that one. Doctors told me to take off 3 months, and that was right when we first bought our first house, and our first mortgage payment hadn't even been paid yet. So I knew there was no way I could take off 3 months and not pay the mortgage for 3 months and not lose the house right after purchasing it, because we showed no history of payment yet. So they were just going to take the house from us right away, I'm sure, if I didn't just go back to work. And the doctor said if I go back to work, even though there's going to be no permanent damage because my spine was so badly bruised, it would probably take a year to heal, and he was right. I was in pain for a year, but I did what I had to do.
That's crazy though, because we sacrificed even though we didn't cause it. Even like recently, that last accident we just recently had, that you had, not we, I say we because I feel it too, but when you were driving and some jerk off hit the side of the highway, like why are you on the side, and then bounces you when he comes into your lane where you are and bounces you between him and a semi.
Well, that's because we were going about 75, 80 on 294 right before the Elsip water tower, and everybody hit the brakes lightly. That's common, and you wonder why. Okay, why did everybody hit the brakes? You don't know why. Slowed down only maybe 5 miles an hour. I hear a screeching sound just as I'm letting off the brake. I look over into my rearview mirror and I see this Durango swerve from the lane to the right of me, probably to avoid smacking that person. Swerves right behind me, realizes he's about to hit me, and then goes over to the shoulder because I'm on the far left lane. He loses control just as he's starting to pass me, like right by the panel and the door on the driver's side is about where he was at with my front end, and then loses control and swings right into me, hitting my front end right by the door, by his door, pushing me into the semi that I'm right next to, right by the 4 wheels at the back of the trailer, and I'm ping-ponging between the two of them multiple times, probably like 5 or 6 times.
I would have peed.
It happened probably in less than 30 seconds, but it felt like 2 minutes. And I'm pretty sure I yelled out loud or screamed out loud, am I about to fucking die? Jeez. Because that's what it felt like. Like,
I can't even.
I was waiting for my car to roll over or whatever. Or, I didn't know what was going to happen because it was just very violently ping-ponging back and forth.
Yeah, to anybody who lost anyone in an accident, like, our deepest condolences. It's not easy. It's very scary, and it gives you, you know, as a driver, some kind of PTSD when you yourself get back out on the road and you see all these people out there not paying attention. Although I will say, in light of accidents, not that there is in light of accidents, one of the craziest stories I think I remember with you is when your tire fell off on the highway and hit another vehicle in the other lane.
Into oncoming traffic on the other side of I-80. Yeah. Well, it fell off, and all of a sudden the back end of my van like went back and down. I'm like, what the hell? I look in my side mirror and I see my tire bouncing right beside my vehicle.
Oh,
slowly going, because we're on I-80. I'm in the far right lane, slowly going towards the middle of the highway.
What are you thinking?
Goes on to, I don't know, I'm just like, what the fuck? It goes onto the medium and goes into oncoming traffic, and I'm like, oh shit, somebody's gonna die from this.
Oh, that would
I'm
be
slowly,
horrible.
I let off my gas because I didn't know how to handle the situation, and slowly got over to the right. And I remember it was only like maybe a week or two prior to that, I had a flat tire and took it to the shop and they put on a new tire. And it was some small mom and pop place. Hindsight, I probably should have sued them, you know, but I didn't. And so I'm slowly getting over under the shoulder, slightly pushing on the brake because I don't know what's going to happen, so I don't want to lose control of my vehicle. I finally come to a stop, and I look up and I see like this black in the corner of my eye, kind of like coming towards the vehicle. And I look over and it's the tire coming back at us. Just misses hitting my window and hits the back end of my van with a massive dent in my van, and then bounces down the street.
Tell me, I don't remember, is the dent in the van the same place where the tire fell off?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so I was just saying, I was here, bitch.
Was before that or after that? I just look over at my brother. He's in the passenger seat with me in my Chevy Express van, and I didn't know what to do, so I laughed about it because it was like, well, what the fuck? It was like, I think I was like ready to. My brother thought I was like ready to have a psychotic break or something.
Because you were laughing.
Yeah, because he was like, what the hell?
He
Had that
doesn't know
nervous
we're
look on his
seasoned to
face.
bad luck.
Like, oh shit, he's about to lose it.
No, we
And
lost
so-
it a long time
But
ago.
I don't know
This
if I
is
did that
COVID.
before or after I noticed the vehicle that probably got hit by the tire, because obviously oncoming traffic hit it and bounced it back towards me. I see this car slowly getting over, and its hood is just like destroyed, and the windshield is smashed in. So
But everyone looked okay
yeah,
inside?
it just
Or?
slowly got over and put on his blinkers. So I'm assuming the person was fine. And I'm assuming that person probably had a warrant for the arrest, was drunk driving, under the influence of some kind of drug or something, because
Stolen vehicle.
something.
Not that
Well,
I
I don't
have
think it was
friends that
stolen
did
because
that.
it was I think it was like a really old
Hey.
Cavalier. 911, I'm on the phone with the state police, and I just told them, I said, hey, if you get a phone call about somebody not knowing what hit them, or if they know what hit them, it was a tire, that was mine. You know, just, I don't want to feel like, because it's kind of like leaving the scene of an accident in a sense. You're like, okay, we'll note that down if anybody calls. And I never got a phone call. So I'm assuming that person was either under the influence, was an illegal immigrant. Who
Whatever
knows?
it may be, they were not trying to
Call
talk to the police.
Yes.
Right.
So-
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think, though, the scariest story, outside of like the accident that we had together, that head-on thing, was when you took out, before we met here, and how you took out a pole going to pick up your dad.
No, yeah. Because I was borrowing my dad's van for work. And then he was like, well, you can borrow it. You just have to pick me up from work at like, I don't know what time it was, 3 o'clock in the morning or something. I really don't remember now. So I got up, and I don't remember other than getting up and then waking up the next day. So, but obviously I fell asleep at the wheel because I was young. I was probably like 18 or 19.
No, because we were dating at that time.
Not at 18, 19. Because you were 18 when we first started dating. And
No, I wasn't, because I was still in high school. I was 17. 16 when we met, 17 we started dating. Uh-oh.
Well, whatever, my timeline's a little off.
Yeah, the fuck it is.
So, whatever. It was somewhere around 17 or 18 then. And
17
I don't
before I met you.
remember any of it. So I must have fell asleep at the wheel on the way. Obviously, that's what happened. And I hit the telephone pole. The telephone pole came down on top of the van, and it broke the transformer loose also, and the transformer hit the hood.
So you hit the
and crushed
pole with the transformer
Yes.
on it. Oh, that
and
was
took out half its power. Because I was picking up my dad at Panduit.
way to
And I was
aim high.
only a mile away from Panduit's security place where they
This
let
is the
everybody
old
out.
office, by the way,
Yeah.
not they have a new
By Tinley Park High
office.
School.
This is, yeah,
And I
going way back.
I guess I just instinctively, subconsciously got out of the van. Well, and they did say that if the transformer was any further over, it would have rolled into the vehicle and crushed me and killed me.
Good Lord.
So I evaded death there. And, so I walked a mile and a half to their security office and just stood there. In the security office, they kind of figured they recognized me from picking up my dad in the past. Not that I ever went in there, but I'm sure they've seen me before. Sitting out in front of the security office in the vehicle waiting for my dad. My dad comes out and he's like, "Oh, hey, Andy." And my dad comes into the security office area where he has to walk through to leave and says, "Hey, Andy." And he got no response. I mean, he was just standing there like a zombie, I guess, or whatever. And he looked over at the security guy and said, "Hey, what's going on?" He goes, "I don't know. Your son just walked in here and just stood here."
Because you were in shock, apparently.
Right. I was just standing there. That's when my dad figured out that I was in an accident when he walked down the street to find the vehicle because he realized the vehicle wasn't in the parking lot.
Like, all right, you picked me up. What am I getting in?
Apparently, while at the hospital, sitting in the waiting area, I ran into my friends. They ran into me. They seen me and tried talking to me, and they said that they got really no response from me at all. So,
Well, yeah, you're not going to if you're in shock.
in shock, and I think I probably also had a what do you call it? Concussion, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, I mean.
And then, but I don't remember any of that. The only thing I remember is waking up in the morning, feeling like I was hungover, and then when I went to go move, my legs were hurting and my knees were hurting, and they were bandaged up, and I'm just like, what the hell? So I get out of bed, stumble my way down the stairs, and my parents are sitting because at the bottom of the stairs is our kitchen/dining room area, well, kitchen breakfast area, and they're sitting at the table, my parents, and I just look at them and go, well, what happened to me? Because I had no idea who else to ask. I was hoping they knew what happened to me. And then they told me the story.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. You're lucky. You're lucky. Do you remember when we would drive around your neighborhood and get pulled over for just driving around the block?
Yeah, because the cops suspected me of being a gangbanger.
I mean, sir, in all fairness.
Yeah, but
like,
they thought that I was the leader because I had a running vehicle and I had the most money out of my
Which he was
friends
not
at
a
the time.
leader, folks. I mean, people. He was not the leader, people, obviously. Yeah, I remember when we were dating, getting messed with a lot. Like, being with you required getting pulled over a lot. Like, they went through my Robert Morris College books. Like, what the fuck you gonna find in those books, sir? That's knowledge. Relax. Like, what am I hiding in knowledge books?
They were looking for something to get me in trouble for, or they were looking for...
Did I have to worry at that time, though, about them finding something? Hold up. Because I know at one point, when we were early dating, I asked you for a Tic Tac, and you said, "Oh, these aren't Tic Tacs," and I like broke up with you, and you're like, "Oh, okay, I won't do that anymore." Threw it in the water. Like, this ain't one of those situations, is it?
No.
Okay.
They never found anything on me except for marijuana anyway. So.
Oh, okay.
But
which is legal in our state now, by the way.
At that time it wasn't, but 9 times out of 10, actually all the times, I never got busted for having it, they would take it.
Yeah.
And they would say, "Oh, do you have a problem with that?" Well, one time I did say, "Well, yeah, what are you going to do with it?" And they're like, "Oh, well then I guess I need to write you a ticket for it and take you in." And I said, "Well, that's fine, you can have it." They were just looking for the good weed because, from where I grew up at and the people who I was friends with, we had good connections to get good stuff that the average person really wasn't getting.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's...
Let's just say I had a buddy who was connected to some...
Yeah, nobody is talking about who. We ain't naming no names, and I know nothing. But we're going to move on from that conversation because I feel a type of way. I didn't check statute of limitations. Although, I will say, anybody we know has served time for their crime. So, that being said, let's move on. But, yeah, I don't really have anything else to add. I don't really remember.
Well, what about the woman who rear-ended us because she was on her phone, not paying attention in her Land Rover? Which that's also what hit us head-on collision too, was a Land Rover. I don't know what's with these Land Rover fucking people, but they think they own the road.
Hey,
And
sorry,
you
any Land
decided
Rover
to brake
listeners.
check her, and she went into our rear end.
I did not brake check her. I seen a dog.
Yeah.
What he's saying is a lie.
Yeah.
I seen a dog.
That dog that I never seen.
I seen it. And so did the fireman 2 cars behind me seen the dog. So, there was a dog.
Yeah.
And she rear-ended me because I braked for said dog.
Allegedly, yeah.
You go, well, look at you
Oh,
using allegedly.
It was allegedly.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, she ended up getting a ticket.
She well deserved it. She was all over the road and was going to
Because
cause
she
an
was
accident.
on her phone.
Yeah.
She was too busy. She had to text the motherfucker.
Yeah, and then she didn't have her insurance card for her Land Rover in there. She had her insurance card for her Mercedes Benz in there accidentally.
And you think we would have got paid from that? Nope. I think that should wrap up our traffic edition. Unless you have any other stories to contribute.
Well, we could talk about the neighborhood that I grew up in, police department, and how corrupt they were at illegally arresting me and making me pay to get my way out. And I was naive and too young to realize that there was no paperwork generated for that, so he was pocketing the money.
But that's what happens when you live in, impoverished-ish neighborhoods that, they take advantage of, I mean, in what I learned the terminology to be from South Side Chicago is street money, and I wouldn't doubt that there are some officers out there that make money by street money. So,
yeah, taking advantage of a young teenager. That's really a good look to you. And I did confront him later in life about that. And yeah, he put his tail between his legs and walked away.
Well, at least you got your
because he
vengeance.
probably
Not a lot of people get that.
no idea that I'd be going to police benefits with my wife, who was a 911 dispatcher.
At the time, okay, at the time. So that was, I will say, I remember running into the officer he's talking about and
I
being
made it
at
a
the
point
place.
to tell a few of his coworkers what he was up to back
Yeah,
then.
I remember that night. That was definitely an awkward night. I'm not going to lie.
Any one of those officers could have looked me up and they would have seen no record of me being arrested. Yet I paid to get myself out. Probably 15 to 20 times.
Well, that 15 to 20 times went in said officer's pockets.
Oh, it sure did.
So what are you going to do? That's politics, and that's a completely different podcast. So on that note, we are going to end our driving podcast, and I thank Andy, my lovely husband, for being a part of this and contributing.
It was fun.
I'm glad you had fun. So I hope you guys hang around for our next podcast where we're going to be talking about homes, home rental, home buying, and HOAs, motherfucker. So till next time, my friends, we will see you again on Gapers Delay